Modern feminism has significantly influenced the lives of women by advocating for equality, empowerment, and the right to embrace both strengths and vulnerabilities. This movement supports women's efforts to address and overcome personal challenges by fostering an environment of acceptance and encouragement for self-improvement. By promoting concepts like body positivity, mental health awareness, and the dismantling of unrealistic standards, modern feminism encourages women to be transparent about their struggles without fear of judgment. Despite some critiques that modern feminism can be overly critical or divisive, many women continue to champion and invoke its principles because they see its potential for positive change. These women are blind. They do not see their life after 40. When they think about their lives after 40, they consider themselves lonely.
Hey Kings, just a reminder not to take it too seriously with some of these women. Research shows that 50% of them already have a backup partner in mind, by the way. Just looking out.
There was a study done in the UK. I believe it was in 2014. And then it was done again in 2019. It revealed that over 50% of women have a backup plan while still in committed relationships. This means that they have a plan B in case their current relationship fails. Women initiate 70% of the divorces in America. When it comes to college-educated women, this number jumps up to 90%.
The number of prime working-age women in the U.S. is increasing steadily, with most of them being single and focused on their careers.
Because hookup culture benefits guys more than it will ever benefit girls. Some people are going to disagree with me, but let me explain. For starters, we knew that guys mainly just want sex. They rarely want commitment, but will do practically anything to get laid. Whereas girls, we're not super horn dogs. Some of us are, but not to that extreme. Y'all want to hook up like equally and with no commitment, whatever. Like you do, you live your life. I'm not judging. The problem is that guys tend to lead girls on because they want to keep getting what they want, which is a hookup. And then girls are painted out to be clingy or obsessive or psycho because they catch feelings, but realistically it should be understandable to catch feelings when you're doing something so intimate instead of just being painted out as crazy. Now, what do girls even gain from it? Honestly, 5 minutes of faking it and not finishing 99% of the time, I really don't think I'm missing out.
Participating in hookup culture is one of the most misogynistic things you can do for yourself. It really only benefits men, and women take on most of the risks. Feminism has convinced women that sexual liberation through casual sex is empowerment. How is it empowering to give yourself to a man that only views you as an object? The bar is so low. All it takes is a drink or a Netflix special, and you allow a complete stranger to have access to your most intimate and vulnerable energy. And for what? How many of your hookups put your needs before theirs? Now, if you genuinely enjoy promiscuity, good for you. But the majority of women, if they were truly being honest with themselves, are seeking male validation, a sense of self-worth, and affection.
They are predicting that 40% of women will be single by the year 2030. And don't come for me because these are scientific studies. As in single, never been married, and never had kids. And honestly, I am not even surprised by this study at all. We have normalized hookup culture, and most people are on dating apps just for an ego boost and not to find actual love. Let's not forget how social media has truly made a negative impact in the dating world. So what are your guys' thoughts and opinions on this? Do you think this is actually going to happen? Do you think it's true? And yeah, what are your thoughts?
What percentage of women do usually have a guy lined up?
I think it depends on, honestly, the reason why you're breaking up and what's been going on.
I feel like if it's something about the guy, they probably have something lined up. But if it's something that they want to work on.
Yeah, always situationships until this relationship, which I just had, which like just ended, right? And it ended not because anything went wrong necessarily. It was more so I didn't realize I was putting his needs above my own for so long that I was giving him the right answer always and never thinking about what I actually needed.
She didn't answer the question. But in modern dating, modern women have a lot of men as a backup, and each of them has their purpose. There's the guy on her phone for gas, another guy for free meals, and the other ones are the ones she knows won't take her serious, so she just lets them smash. Once those guys done with her, she tries getting back with the good guys who were treating her right. The percentage is getting higher. Right now, it's above 50%. Even women in marriages are indulging in this activity. So much for the vows, huh?
Guys can sleep around, but if we do it, like, We get horny too. Yeah. It's okay if we just want to hook up once in a while and have it just be that.
I also think if a guy looks down on you for hooking up with him, that says a lot about what he thinks of himself.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's so crazy.
45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030.
Do you think also feminism has lied to women as saying that your career was more important than actually raising children?
It's so hard because with that study that's saying that by 2030, more than 45% of women are going to be childless and single. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is that a lot of these women, if not already, which a lot of women are on antidepressants and anxiety medication, all that stuff, it's going to skyrocket. And when women say, okay, I'm going to focus on my career, climb the corporate ladder, I'm going to go and have fun, find myself, then I'm going to find a partner, and then I'm going to have babies. And choosing your partner, who you're going to have babies with, is the most important thing. Your job is not going to be there for you.
This trend is expected to boost wages as women choose to work rather than start a family. The number of single women in the U.S. is expected to increase by 1.2% annually from 2018 to 2030.
Women have a backup plan for the backup plan for the backup plan. Most women will not break up with a dude or cause a breakup with a dude without having something else that she gonna fall back on.
How old are you?
I am almost 30.
So do you think dating is easier for you as you age?
Absolutely not.
Why?
The dating pool is a lot smaller, or there's a lot more baggage to be a part of this.
So you see why men go for younger women then?
Absolutely. I mean, I get it. But I'm not a younger woman, so you get what you get.
How long did it take you to realize that, though?
How long did it take me to realize that? I'm an independent woman. I don't give a shit either way.
Okay, so do you think a man wants a masculine or a feminine woman?
I don't think it matters what he wants. I'm going to be who I am, and he can take it or leave it.
Once again, the wall is undefeated. I really wonder what they mean when claiming to be an independent woman. Do they ever think maybe it's what's keeping them single? Women claiming to be independent usually makes that their personality and as a result keeps the men away from them. It's sad because she's 38 and still spouting that nonsense. The one thing she understands is that men don't want to deal with the baggages she's bringing. Maybe if she changes the way she talks and be willing to improve on her character, she might just get somebody.
A gal, your girlfriend or wife, can take your gifts, go on a romantic getaway weekend 1 week, and then the next week tell you that it's over. And 9 out of 10 times, she already has another dude on deck, like a sleeper cell just waiting to be activated. Oh yeah, and 80% of all affairs happen in the workplace. Just a quick reminder.
A growing number of women are choosing not to have kids and as a result are advancing in their careers and using their wealth to buy property and travel more. This is an article by Bloomberg, I think, came out of their Business Week edition. Ashley Marraro isn't married and doesn't have kids, and she has a message for women just like her: you can still have it all. I love my life and feel very fulfilled, says Marraro, who froze her eggs in 2018 to keep her options open. The 43-year-old feels a deep sense of satisfaction from her job as a sales representative for a maker of medical devices, which brings her into contact with patients, and she relishes all of the lifestyle and financial freedoms that come with being a single, child-free woman in a well-paying job. Marraro, who was married for 4 years before getting divorced in 2008, enjoys an enviable degree of financial independence. The West Village resident owns her own apartment she bought in 2019 for around $900,000 and then renovated. And in June, she closed on a summer home in New Jersey's Long Beach Island with her sister Christina, who's a few years older and also single with no kids. Ashley figures she's taken 10 trips in the last 12 months and often friends with a large group of about 25 people who are largely unmarried and don't have children. Those trips at 43 sound like they suck. I do not want to go on that trip, frankly.
Yeah, so everything you just described there is kind of like a symptom of what I would call the wider mating crisis. And it seems to be like a cultural kind of prioritizing of the male default of economic success. The kind of girl boss, lean in kind of culture seems to be set up as what the vision for success for women tends to be. And yet you have a lot of even corporate giants kind of getting in on this. A few years ago, you had Morgan Stanley, the investment bankers, put out a report that forecasts that 45% of prime working age women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single and childless by 2030, the largest share in history. And it's not entirely obvious to me that this is in women's best interests. I mean, I'm pretty libertarian in my sensibilities about, freedom of choice, whatever someone wants to do with their life. But it seems to me like you can see the kind of corporate interest in opening up more worker drones for 60-hour work weeks. The workplace now, women are crushing it. It's a brain-based economy rather than a brawn-based economy. So that seems to be in their interests. And it's weird. It's almost like Huxleyan. It's like Brave New World. Have you read that, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's very Huxleyan. It's like this kind of hedonistic life of going on lots of trips, having very atomized type of sex. Singlehood will be on the rise. You won't get attached to any one person. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That kind of thing. And it seems a little bit dystopian to me, to kind of, to hurtle towards that dystopian vision. But that's the modern mating crisis we find ourselves in. And that's where we are.
This girl at work said something to me the other day, and I can't get it out of my head. Heard a baby around her. I was like, oh God, that's free birth control for me. And she's like, oh, that makes me think of my little baby. And I was like, yeah, I'm too selfish. I don't want kids. I have a dog. That's enough for me. A couple of days later, she's like, so you don't want kids, but you have a dog. Do you have a boyfriend or anything? And I was like, no, I've never had a boyfriend. She was like, how old are you? And I said, 27. She's like, and you've never had a boyfriend? And I never really cared. But there's something about her saying that really hit me this time, because I've never been on even 2 dates with the same person. Even guys I've talked to or hooked up with, they'll slowly stop talking to me, and then I find out they have a girlfriend, or they get into a new relationship a week later. And when I was younger and I didn't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, I'd be like, it's because I'm fat. I used to weigh 320 pounds. I lost 160 pounds. It's not like I'm being hit up every day, every week, even every month with people in my DMs or messaging me on Snapchat trying to get with me. It's no one hits me up.
The proportion of single women in the workforce is likely to grow as more women get bachelor's degrees, marry later, and wait until they're older to have children. About 80% of single women between the ages of 25 and 54 are working or seeking employment, Bauer said. And as the workforce changes, corporations will have to rethink how they can
no
support
one hits
employees.
me up. It's not even I'm being selective with who I'm picking and turning people away. It's just people aren't coming up to me, and I don't understand. Not I have an issue with people wanting to hook up with me, but if it tries to go a step further, they're absolutely not, no. I don't want to just hook up with random people that I don't know, so I'll tell people that I don't want to hook up with them until I know them, and then they're like, well, you're a prude. I'm I literally can't win. Why it's hitting me so hard this time is the fact that she had the audacity to ask by choice, and I just sit there and I'm no, it's not by choice. When I was younger, I was oh, it's because I'm fat. Oh, it's because I'm fat. Once I lose weight, I'll have no problem. And now that I'm not fat, I'm just what is it? What is the reason? So now I'm gonna finish my energy drink and hit the gym until I can't feel my emotions anymore.
I've never had a boyfriend before, and I'm 30. Okay. And all throughout my 20s, this was something that actually really scared me. It was something I was super ashamed of, super embarrassed by. I felt really left out. I just thought I was one of the only people, because I was around a lot of people that were in relationships or who were already married and way ahead of me on that timeline. And I was scared that it was never going to happen for me. I have dated, I have been in situationships with men, but I've never met someone who I feel like I would want to spend a long period of my life with, who I would want to be in a relationship with. And this was something that in my early 20s, I actually just never saw myself falling in love or being in a relationship. I always just thought I would be the person who would never be in love, and love was stupid. And I think ultimately it was just a way to avoid getting hurt. I definitely have been in toxic situations where I've been treated really poorly by men and just used in, I think you could put 2 and 2 together for situationships in your early 20s.
Resulting in 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 being single and childless by 2030. This shift in lifestyle norms is enabling more women to work full-time.
And it wasn't until I really started doing a lot of therapy around my mental illnesses that I learned kind of the impact those situationships had on me overall. And so when I say I've never had a boyfriend, it used to be something that I was super, super ashamed of because I just figured at this point in my life, 30, I would definitely be in a situation or be at least close to like getting married, having kids, living with someone, like all those things I figured would already be like part of my life.
It's always 30. It's like even if men don't say anything, women themselves say by 30. Okay.
But they're not. I want to share a little bit about why I think that's okay and why I'm coming to terms with where I'm at in my life is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Even though at times I find it really hard, I still believe that everything will work out how it's supposed to. And I'm just trying to have more faith that the universe will guide me wherever I need to go. But I truly did believe that by now I would be in love and would have found my person. And I think it's super easy for people to say, like, if they've been in relationships in the past or had like really bad experiences, that to be like, girl, you're not missing out on anything. I totally respect where you're coming from, but I think if you're like me and you've never experienced a relationship or been with someone that you really love and want to spend more time with or see your future with, we don't know what that feels like.
There is a gentleman right now who is live saying feminism has failed because 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. And I'm letting you know, that is a feminism success, bruh. That is a feminism success. All right? That means women are exercising a choice more than ever before to only get married, to only stay married, to only have kids when they want to. Not like our generations past where there was not a lot of opportunity and options to do anything else. That is a win if 45% of us are choosing to be single and childless. Feminism has not ruined it. As for me as a woman, I say it has made things so much better. Congratulations, ladies.
After fucking around for like the past 2 months, I think I'm finally ready to graduate from hookup culture. Like, I'm gonna stop going to guys' houses when they offer. I'm gonna say no because I just like, if I go to someone's house, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So I just need to stop, and I'm getting tired of it. Like, I'm finally over it. So from now on, we're gonna say no thank you, or maybe next time if a guy asks me to come over. And I'm just gonna like start sabotaging myself by not showering like right before my date like I would if I knew or was open to the possibility of sleeping with someone, so I can force myself not to sleep with them. Like, if I know that I'm not clean, I'm not gonna have sex with them, you know what I mean? And then another way that I used to do this when I had my place up in Seattle was I would purposefully leave my apartment dirty so that I couldn't bring a guy over. And that did work most of the time, except one time I really wanted to sleep with someone and I regretted it. So I made him like stand outside for like 5 minutes while I like tornadoed through my place and like put everything into the closet.
Disgusting.
Raising the labor force participation rate among single females. However, this has negative impacts on society, such as a declining birth replacement rate, and increased mental illness and self-confidence among unmarried and childless women. Additionally, single, childless women may miss out on lifelong fulfillment and may struggle with mental health issues. Openly acknowledging and working on women's challenges fosters self-growth and breaks down the stigma around imperfection, encouraging a supportive community. And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.